Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Southern California on fire. Right now, at least 3 wildfires fueled by Santa Ana winds are burning in and around Los Angeles.
I heard a scream like I've never heard before. My dad said, "It's in our backyard, it's in our backyard."
The flames forcing 100,000 people out of their homes as firefighters battle those flames from the air and on the ground.
We're facing our own threat of wildfires as a red flag warning remains in effect for another hour in San Diego County.
We're going to get to that in a moment, but first we want to update you on the wildfires burning to our north. Here is the very latest, the Saddle Ridge fire in Sylmar. It's burned about 7,500 acres. It is 0% contained. 25 homes have burned because of that fire. The Sandalwood fire in Cali Mesa burned about 832 acres and is only 10% contained. One person is dead and a San Diego family is fearful it could be their grandmother. We're going to hear from them at 5:30. 76 structures were lost in that fire. And a fire in El Sereno burned about 40 acres. It was initially reported as 1 acre, but quickly grew because of the winds.
We have a team of reporters covering all angles. We begin with ABC's Marcy Gonzalez, who is live in Porter Ranch. Marcy.
Lindsay and Steve, a little bit of progress to report. The fire in this area now up to 13% containment. Firefighters were here throughout the entire day trying to keep the flames that destroyed this house from spreading. You hate seeing this. The residents here are now going through their home trying to see what they can salvage, and the risk for these communities still isn't over. If you look at this charred hillside, you can see just how close the flames came to these other homes, and because of the ongoing fire threat, this entire town and other areas are now under mandatory evacuation orders.
Massive fires tearing through Southern California, several now burning out of control, destroying dozens of homes.
Because my house, I can see where it was from here, and it's all gone.
Time-lapse video shows flames devouring this hillside, raging ominously above neighborhoods. Powerful Santa Ana winds with gusts up to 70 miles an hour, spreading the flames quickly as families scramble to evacuate, facing a nightmare on the roads.
The ember's now in the air above me. It's coming this way. We're going to get out.
Firefighters in Los Angeles County hosing flames creeping towards this backyard. Reinforcements moving in.
Here comes the helicopter. We got a water drop on the way.
Officials say one man suffered a heart attack and died while trying to stop the fire from reaching his home.
Obviously, that's very tragic.
And in this community in Riverside County, where more than 70 mobile homes were destroyed, police say an 89-year-old woman was killed. The cause of that fire captured on a doorbell camera. Garbage burning inside this truck, then dumped on a roadside and igniting.
Identified the cause, obviously, but we're still investigating whether or not there will be any type of criminal charges pending.
Yeah, and those strong Santa Ana winds you can probably see have been blowing the trees behind me, blowing my hair, and of course carrying those burning embers, causing destruction like we're seeing behind me. Well, those winds are not letting up. The National Weather Service has now extended the red flag warnings for this area, saying the extreme fire danger and weather is now expected to continue at least through tomorrow evening. We're live in Porter Ranch. I'm Marcy Gonzalez for 10 News.
Now, Marcy, do we know how this other major fire where you are started?
Lindsay, we haven't gotten the official word from fire investigators, but we have heard from a witness who says he saw those flames spark near a transmission tower and then spread to nearby brush. And of course, that is what officials have been so concerned about moving into this week, knowing there was going to be this extreme fire threat. And that's why some of the utility companies shut off electricity for hundreds of thousands of Californians preemptively because they were so concerned about the possibility of power lines causing a fire. Again, there is no confirmation that is what happened here, but that is absolutely something that investigators are looking into. Stephen, Lindsay.
Frustrating for a lot of people looking for answers. Marcy, thank you so much. All right, after power outages in Northern California, there has been tragedy. A man dependent on his oxygen to live died, and this was only about 12 minutes after PG&E cut the power to his home. On Wednesday, the El Dorado County Fire Chief says his crews responded to a call in Pollock Pines, that's east of Sacramento, and found that man in his 60s unresponsive. Power had just been cut off to the area. The chief said that man's oxygen equipment required power, but he couldn't say if the recent power shutdown was related to the man's death. In the meantime, throughout San Diego, SDG&E shut off power for hundreds of their customers to prevent any wildfires from happening here.
10 News reporter Mackenzie Maynard joins us from Oak Springs, rather live from Oak Springs. Mackenzie, that power is about to come back on.
Lindsay and Steve, yeah, we're out here live Oak Springs, and nearly 400 people in this area have been without power since last night, but they've learned their power is set to come on tonight at 7.
Oh, I got so many books I'm reading, honey.
It's been almost a full day without power, leaving Misty Knight to her books.
Started at 9 o'clock. It shut down, everything shut down.
No TV, no cooking appliances.
See, that's all I get.
And no tablet.
To get out of the house because it's dead here, you know, and no electricity. Can't get online. I need my games.
Thankfully, she was able to prepare for the power shutoff.
3 days before, every day, they called me to let me know.
So she knew what she needed to buy and what she didn't.
Don't buy any ice cream.
Instead, Misty stocked up on waters and dog food.
As long as I don't open the fridge, I'm fine.
She's hoping whatever is in the fridge won't go bad in the 22 hours without power.
This is worse I have ever seen the wind.
Just outside, a neighbor's flags tied up together after the gust swept through. While she's counting down the minutes, she's glad to know this may have prevented a wildfire.
I'm counting down everything, honey.
And as you can see, this is what SDG&E is trying to prevent. The wires so close to all this dry brush where we're standing. They're saying that because the weather conditions have improved since last night, while we have a little bit of wind, it's much calmer. That's why they don't expect any more shutoffs in the near future, and the power should be back on in just 2 hours. For now, reporting live, Mackenzie Maynard, 10 News.
All right, that's good news. Thank you, Mackenzie. Several viewers reached out to us this afternoon about power outages in Ramona. We looked into it and discovered those were unplanned outages, meaning they were not tied to the alerts the utility sent out in that community. The red arrows you see on this map show those unplanned outages. The orange arrows indicate where SDG&E shut the power off because of a fire concern. We do have a link to this map on our homepage. And our red flag warning is set to remain in effect until 6 p.m.
Our weathercaster Jen Dela Cruz is tracking the fire danger that we have. We just got to get through the next few hours here.
Yeah, just through the next few hours. And even after that red flag warning does expire, it's still going to be very dry, and that'll continue through tomorrow. So we still have to be very aware and very careful here in San Diego County and really across all of Southern California. Once again, that red flag warning expires at 6 p.m. Those Santa Ana winds out of the east-northeast, 20 to 30 miles per hour, isolated gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Winds not too bad on the coast, but still dealing with those red arrow Santa Ana winds all through our mountain and our foothill areas. Those are starting to die down. I'm also tracking when our temperatures are cooling down, coming up in your 7-day forecast.
All right, Jen, thank you. You can stay on top of those red flag conditions anytime by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
New at 5, we're getting our first look at dramatic body camera video of a deadly police shooting at an RV park in San Ysidro. That's the moment police fatally shot 50-year-old Alfonso Cervantes. All of this happened back in April near a travel lodge on Willow Road. The district attorney's office also released aerial video of that encounter. From above, you can see Cervantes carrying a large assault rifle. Police say he was on meth and was firing around the property at random. And since he advanced on officers and ignored orders to drop the weapon, the DA announced today the officers involved acted appropriately.
We have new developments in the battle over the popular gun shows at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. This afternoon, the governor signed a bill banning the shows there starting in 2021. Our 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky tracked down the president of Crossroads of the West gun shows to find out how they plan to stop the new law from taking effect.
Gun safety advocates consider the Del Mar ban a milestone, but it's probably just the beginning of another long legal battle.
I've got good news, everybody. I'm just freshly back from Sacramento, and I have AB 893, and it has been signed by Governor Newsom, everyone.
With that announcement from San Diego State Assembly member Todd Gloria, it became official.
Earlier, Governor Gavin Newsom had signed a number of gun bills into California law, included Gloria's bill to prohibit gun shows at the Del Mar Fairgrounds starting in 2021.
People are welcome to continue to buy guns at private establishments. The state just shouldn't have a role in facilitating the flow of guns into neighborhoods where children are killed.
Gloria was inspired to act by advocates who have campaigned against the gun show for more than a year. They protested outside every time the Crossroads of the West gun show came to Del Mar. The fairgrounds are owned by the state, and Gloria said the state should not profit off gun sales. I caught up with the president of Crossroads of the West gun shows at her office in Utah. She thinks this law will make communities less safe.
Gun shows are not the place where gun violence is created. We're the ones that are educating about gun safety, and I think when you have an environment where you can talk about it and educate people, I think that's an important part of curbing gun violence.
She says they plan to sue California to stop the law from taking effect.
Hopeful that we will be able to take that, challenge that in court, and we will hopefully be able to find a way that we can come back to Del Mar and stay in Del Mar.
I have no doubt that the gun lobby and those who profit from the sale of guns will continue to fight this, but we will fight harder.
In Del Mar, Jeff Lasky, 10 News.
The next gun show at the Del Mar Fairgrounds will be in December. 5 more are already scheduled for next year before the ban takes effect.
A pizzeria in Lakeside is hoping to get back to business after a car plowed right through their front window. And this was at Giant Bambino's Pizza in a shopping center off Winter Garden Boulevard. No one was seriously hurt. The man behind the wheel is an Uber Eats driver and was there to pick up pizza. We spoke to the manager of the shop, who said he was a customer, or rather he and a customer were in the path just moments before the car crashed through the window.
And thankfully, like I said again, the customer walked out of the shop and a minute before the accident happened. And for me, I was just cleaning the table, just like I would say 20 seconds before that happened.
A kids' pizza party was supposed to come in tonight. A county building inspector is checking out the restaurant. No word yet on when they can reopen.
I'm Cassie Carlisle here in the 10 News Live Center with breaking news. Our acting Secretary of Homeland Security has just stepped down, sent in his resignation today, Friday. This is Trump's tweet from about 25 minutes ago saying, "We've worked well together with border crossings being way down. Kevin, now after many years in government, wants to spend more time with his family and go to the private sector." He was in that position for about 6 months, and Trump also tweeted after that saying that he will announce the new acting secretary next week.
Jesse, thank you. All right, now to a developing story. A key witness in the House impeachment inquiry testified behind closed doors. Today, the former ambassador to Ukraine told investigators that she was removed from her post over, quote, unfounded and false claims.
As ABC's Inez de la Cuerta explains, the White House tried to block her from testifying.
This morning, former ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch reportedly testifying behind closed doors that Trump pressured the State Department to remove her from her position. It's being widely reported that Yovanovitch said in her opening statement that her term ended abruptly, with the Deputy Secretary of State telling her that the president had lost confidence in me and no longer wished me to serve as his ambassador. In his now infamous July conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president called Yovanovitch bad news. She was removed from her post in May after coming under attack from President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. This as the 2 Giuliani associates arrested yesterday allegedly funneled illegal campaign donations from a foreign national to U.S. politicians to push for Yovanovitch's removal. Yovanovitch's opening statement reportedly saying, "I do not know Mr. Giuliani's motives for attacking me, but individuals who have been named in the press as contacts of Mr. Giuliani may well have believed that their personal financial ambitions were stymied by our anti-corruption policy in Ukraine." 2 sources telling ABC News the business relationship between Giuliani and the men charged, now the subject of that ongoing criminal investigation.
These are 2 associates who were effectively Rudy's boots on the ground in Ukraine.
Meanwhile, lawyers for the whistleblower at the heart of the impeachment inquiry are telling Congress that at this point, their client will answer questions in writing instead of appearing before any committees in person. And after the State Department initially tried to block EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland from testifying, lawyers for Sondland now say he will appear before the House next week. Inez de la Cuerta, ABC News, Washington.